It's a satirical review. It's supposed to be very funny.
Sounds great.
Anyway, I put tickets for Saturday night. You're not working in the afternoon, are you?
No.
Great. Well, let's make a day of it then. Nice lunch in York, stroll around the shops.
Smashing. We haven't had a whole day together for ages.
Morning, Lizzie. Ken?
Hiya. You've got the whole fan club in this morning. They really love you.
Not half as much as I do.
Don't. You'll only think he's special.
We want to see a doctor.
Well, you've come to the right place. Which one would you like?
We don't want the ordinary sort.
We want the lady.
Dr. Wetherill.
Morning, hot cook. All set for Saturday?
Beg pardon?
The rugby match. How's the team coming along?
What are you on about?
It's only down in black and white in the news bulletin. There, at the bottom, under social events.
The traditional rugby match between Ashford Leeds General and the Royal has been revived. Well, we never saw that.
Unless you want to look like complete idiots, I suggest you arrange something rather quickly.
What on earth happened?
Well, your man said the bloke drove straight at him. He swerved and went off the road.
Drunk? A skunk, most like. Right.
Slow good, you'll have to wait until the fire brigade arrive.
You're still alive. That's something. Can you pass me my emergency bag, please? Hello? I'm Dr. Ormerod. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Well, these tablets should help you get some rest, June.
Thank you.
But, I'm still a little bit concerned as to why you're not sleeping.
Oh, it's the anxiety, isn't it, dear? He's making her life a misery.
June?
He stares at me.
He watches her all day.
And at night, and when I hang the washing out.
He stares at her unmentionables.
Sorry, just a moment. Who does?
The man next door.
He's a beast.
I didn't think you had an immediate neighbour.
Well, he's just across the way.
And he's got binoculars.
Hurry up, please. He could be hemorrhaging to death under this lot.
Well, they're nearly there. I'll throw the bucket in when he comes round.
Throw one for me while you're at it. I only bought these trousers last week. 10 skunks, more like. It's all right, old man. Soon get you out of here. Alan, would you be so good as to swap places with me? I need to check for injuries as we get him out. All right? So just hold that firm on his face and don't drop that bottle.
You've got it.
All right, OK. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Come on, you two. Wait for me. OK. I need to fit a cervical collar, and then we need to get him out with a blanket lift. All right? OK, let's do it.
Yes, of course, you must come back next week if it hasn't cleared up.
Dr. Cheriton.
What's the matter?
I've got a bit of a problem.
Are you in pain?
No. Do you play rugby?
What?
Well, can you play rugby?
I can. I have patients waiting.
Yes, I know. Well, it's urgent.
I'll come and find you later, all right? Good morning, Mrs. Harris. How are we today?
The thing is, I'm going to need to know very soon.
Oh, my.
The aroma's all perfectly natural stuff, Miss.
Yeah, but not in a hospital, Doctor.
Look, I'll let his wife know he's here, and then I'll breathalyse him as soon as possible.
Fine. We'll let you know when you can have him.
Drunk driver?
Well, that's what I thought at first, but I'm not so sure now. I can't smell any alcohol.
Well, you wouldn't, would you?
Yes, good point. However, his eyes didn't look right. I think this might be something else.
$1959 it was. The last rugby match we ever played against Ashfordley. And the first time in 10 years that we'd won. Doc Allway covered the ball in surgical spirit and set fire to it. These are the ashes.
Oh, I smell a bit.
No, that's just Alan.
So Harper's started it up again. Him and his flaming bulletin.
Well, I don't feel too badly about it, Ken. The number of bits of paper that man sends out. Most of it ends up in the bin. Why don't you just ignore it?
Dr. Cheriton, the honour of the hospital's at stake.
Oh, look, I'm sorry. It's out of the question. Any other time I'd be glad to. But I'm afraid I made other plans for this Saturday. Sorry.
The police said he was drunk. What's he doing drunk at 10 o'clock in the morning? I'll kill him when I see him.
Mrs. Gibbons, this is Dr. Ormond. He's been dealing with your husband.
I'll be the one dealing with him.
Mrs. Gibbons, your husband wasn't drunk. We think he may have had a minor stroke.
Don't be daft. He's not even 30 yet.
Yes, I realise it's very unusual, but I'm afraid this can happen at any age.
You serious? A stroke? Oh, my. Well, when can I see him?
I'll take you through now if you like.
Is that a fresh bedpan?
No, it's the one I just emptied. I have sterilised it.
By biling?
Not as such.
In this hospital, we bile.
Sister is waking up.
Hello. How are we feeling now? Best medicine in the world. A couple of hours sleep.
How are you, love?
Fine. I'm a bit tired. A bit achy.
I couldn't believe it when they told me you'd had a stroke.
I didn't. I just fainted.
No, love. You had a stroke. That's why you can't speak properly yet.
I must have knocked a tooth out, that's all.
Neil, stop it. Just for once in your life.
Mrs. Gibbons, please.
In this hospital, we boil bed pans. Oh, bloody hell.
He may well have been a bit confused in there.
Oh, no, he wasn't confused. You heard him. He didn't have a stroke. There's nothing wrong with him. And he can't talk properly because he's had a tooth out, and that's all there is to it.
Why would he say something like that?
Because he's Neil, sister. And that's what Neil does. There's no problem that can't simply be walked away from. The minute you let him out of this place, it'll be as if nothing ever happened.
Really?
And there'll be nothing I can do to make him talk about it because we've got to keep his blood pressure down, haven't we?
Yeah. I've seen the light of day since 1959. And it shows. Rubbish, the watch up as good as new.
Fall apart, more like.
We'll have to take our chances. We're playing tomorrow. We haven't got anything else.
So who's playing? Well, there's me, you two, Steve from Path Lab, Jim who delivers gas bottles. Oh, and Dr. Cheriton says he can't, but we'll work on it.
Right, and I'm seeing 2 ambulance drivers this afternoon.
Aye, and ragtag and bobtail.
Well, don't worry, we'll be all right. Morning, staff.
Yes! Quickly! Oh, help us, please.
What happened?
It's my daughter. I've been raped. I want to see the doctor.
Just gonna find one. It's okay. You're all right.
How can she be all right? That man broke into her room. It's that doctor's fault. She gave her the pills. If she hadn't been drugged...
Please, wait here. Everything's gonna be all right. Can I help?
Oh, yes, please. Can you wait with them while I fetch the doctor?
Over my dead body.
Oh, come on, Pearl. It's for good of the hospital.
I don't care if it's for the good of Her Majesty the Queen. You're not putting them togs in my washer, and that's an end to it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got some real work to do.
It's all right. She has a breakout, however. We'll do them then.
We better make sure the police are informed. She'll need to be examined straight away. Ah.
Is Dr. Weatherer?
Dr. Weatherall's still on her house rounds, I'm afraid. Lizzie, why don't you look after Mrs. Smith? Find her a nice cup of tea, please.
Of course. You come with me.
Why can't my mother stay with me?
It's all right. Just gets a bit crowded in the treatment room.
Now, I'm Dr. Ormerod, and this is Staff Nurse Taylor. She'll help you get undressed.
Undressed? What for?
Well, with your permission, I need to make a full examination.
Do you have to?
It'll be all right. We're all here to help you. Come on.
When can I see my daughter?
Soon as Doctor's finished with her. I'll go and fetch her through for you, don't worry.
She can't be on her own, you know. Not without me. No. She hates being on her own.
There. All over.
Well done. I'll go and get your clothes.
So, Teddy, you're scrum half. Brian, you're prop forward. Yeah, oh, no, sorry, mate, none of that.
What?
Cream buns. From now on, it's pure protein all the way, steak and eggs.
Don't be daft. It's not going to make any difference now, is it?
Ryan, every little bit helps. Right now, we need all the help we can get.
Aha!
Aha, what, Mr. Rose?
The game's afoot. Mr. Middleditch thought you'd keep the ashes forever, did you?
I see no reason why we shouldn't. Useful wing three-quarter by the look of you, Cheriton.
Well, I play for my university,
Oh,
but...
good, excellent, first class.
In that case, I'll put you in instead of our Dr. Bailey on the Ashfordley team. Man simply hasn't got the wind.
What? No, I'm sorry.
While you're my anaesthetist, Dr. Cheriton, you play for my rugby team.
Improving all the time, Mrs. Gibbons. Dr. Ormerod says with a bit of physio, Neil will get his left side back completely. He'll be around in a wee while. You can have a chat to him then.
Thank you, sister.
And where have you been? Pearl can't be expected to do it all by herself.
I've been boiling bedpans, sister.
And look at the state of you.
I'm afraid that's what standing in boiling steam does to you, sister.
Well, you'd better sort yourself out. Matron will be round soon. After you've finished helping Pearl.
Hiya. It's me. Neil? Neil? Wake up, love. Neil? Sister Bridget, something's happened to Neil. I can't get him to wake up.
Neil? Can you hear me? Neil?
Okay. There's no need to shout. I was just taking a nap.
Play your games with me if you must, Neil. But don't do it to Sister Bridget. What she thinks really does matter.
Did you have any idea how many assaults and rapes go unpunished because some man decides that it's not worth investigating?
Oh, for heaven's sake, Joe.
No wonder she wanted to see me. I mean, I suppose you do realise that June Smith was probably a virgin.
And she still is.
What?
When I examined her, I found that not only had she not been raped, but she was, as you so rightly suggest, still a virgin.
Are you sure that she said that she'd been raped?
Yep. And when I tried to find out a bit more, she said that I couldn't possibly understand and walked away.
He's never.
It's what Mr. Rose said. He's got Dr. Cheriton down for the Ashfordley mob.
So that's why they want to play for us. They're treacherous little. They're the worst, I mean, all the doctors. It's like that Dr. Crippen.
Dr. Frankenstein. Dr. Who.
Right, come on, let's get this out of the way before our Pearl gets back. Right.
If the linen cupboard's empty, then go to the laundry. It won't make itself, you know.
Yes, sister.
It'd probably make a better job of its corners if it did.
Well, that's better. Somewhat more fragrant than the last time we met. Sister, I'd like to examine Mr. Gibbons, please.
Of course. Shall we leave him to it?
Right. Now, what I think happened, Mr. Gibbons, is that your stroke was caused by a leaking aneurysm. Now, that's where there's a length of blood vessel where the walls are a bit thin. And sometimes the walls burst under high blood pressure and cause a stroke.
I feel fine now.
Good. Glad to hear it. What I'd like to do, though, is send you over to Ashfordley General to see their neurosurgeon. Now, he might want to operate. Just clip out the bit of damaged blood vessel and repair whatever.
Yeah. All right. We'll see.
I beg your pardon?
I said we'll see. I'm too tired to think about it now.
Do you know, he got promoted last year, and I only found out a month later when I saw the rise in his pay packet. He won't share anything. Not joy, not pain. And now look at him. He's ill, but he'd rather die than let me in. Let me care for him.
Well, I have to say, his condition is something that affects you both. He'll still be vulnerable to strokes even after he's recovered from this one.
Then you try telling him that, sister, because he certainly won't listen to me.
As long as it's just wipes.
You're a smasher, Pearl.
Oh, well, I could see I wasn't going to get any peace.
Well, it's a jolly poor show, that's all I can say.
I don't know what Ken told you, but he's got the wrong end of the stick. I'm not playing for Ashfordley on Saturday. I'm not playing for anybody. The truth is, I have a long-standing date with my girlfriend.
A date? Are you telling me that your romantic dalliances are more important than the prestige of this hospital?
No, sir.
The Royal expects every man to do his duty, Dr. Cheriton. And the... Middleditch. Yes, look, could you just hold on a second, please? I'm afraid this is rather more pressing than a rugby match. Go ahead.
I am sorry. I shouldn't really jump to conclusions.
It's difficult not to, under the circumstances.
A woman comes in saying she's been raped. You know, why on earth would she make something like that?
Dr. Ormerod, could I have a word with you in my office, please?
Dr. Ormerod tells me you're maybe a little bit anxious about having the operation.
Don't you start.
Start what?
Nagging. God knows I get enough of that at home.
Well, now, I'd hardly call it nagging when everybody only wants the best for you.
It's not about that, is it? She goes on and on. It's not about wanting the best. It's about getting me to admit it's my fault.
Since when did anybody suggest having a stroke was anybody's fault?
I'm not talking about that.
Then what exactly are you talking about, Mr. Gibbons?
Sit down, Doctor.
Thank you. So, is there some sort of problem, Mr. Middleditch?
I'm afraid there is. I've just had a rather disturbing telephone call from a Miss June Smith.
Oh, yes?
She claims that under the pretext of conducting an intimate examination this morning, you interfered with her.
That's ridiculous. You can't possibly think Dr. Ormerod would do a thing like that.
Well, of course I don't. But you do understand why I have to ask the question.
And you were present during the entire procedure?
Yes, of course. And it was all done with great sensitivity, as you'd expect.
I wonder what made her think otherwise.
Because she's barking mad, that's what. I mean, she came in here claiming to be raped and she hadn't even... Well, you know. She was Virgo intacta, matron.
Really?
Well, thank you for your assistance, Staff Nurse Taylor. That'll be all.
And as we all know, these allegations are so much nonsense, I'd ask you to be discreet. Least said, soonest mended.
Of course.
I'm afraid I disagree, matron. One of my doctors has been accused of unspeakable behaviour. We know it to be nonsense, but I must make sure that Miss Smith understands that as well.
I'm not sure it's any of your business, sister.
Well, as he's under my care at the moment...
It's a common enough problem, I dare say. We've been married 5 years, sister. Some women would have fallen pregnant by now.
Ah, and you think it's Neil's fault?
No. It could be me. It could be both or neither of us. But he simply won't discuss it. You've seen the stubborn look he gets on his face. And he won't talk about us having tests.
Hey, come on.
It's my fault he had the stroke. Before he stormed out and had the crash, I said if we weren't going to have children, there wasn't any point in... I said we should have separate rooms.
It's outrageous. I know I did nothing wrong.
Hey, come on, don't even imagine this is any fault of yours.
First the rape claim and then the alleged assault. I mean, you saw them yesterday. I mean, what were they like?
Well, Yes, they were a bit odd, I suppose.
Odd? It's deranged.
Oh, come on, relax, Gordon. It'll be all right. I've told Middleditch and Matron everything I know. They will sort it out. Lord, what on earth?
Oh, come on. Pull anything.
Come on. Right, now, you'll muddle through tomorrow's game as best you can.
Oh, I think we'll do better than muddle, Mr. Harper.
Yes, well, anyway, after that, I'll circulate this memorandum to all players. We'll instigate a properly constituted team with properly constituted regulations under the chairmanship of myself, of course.
What's going on? Oh, Harper wants to regulate the rugby team. Come on, lads, get those arms up higher. They're not regulation height.
I'm not trying to interfere, Mrs. Gibbons. I'm just saying that sometimes these things aren't meant to happen.
How dare you? Oh, look at you. What the blazes do you know about having children?
Absolutely nothing. But I do know everything there is to know about not having them. Tell me something. Why haven't you divorced Neil before now?
What?
Why were you so relieved when he survived after his stroke? After all, if he died, you'd be free to find someone else to give you children.
That's a monstrous thing to say.
Yes, I know it is. So what's the answer?
Because I love him. Because if I didn't have Neil, nothing else would matter.
And does he know that, do you think?
Course, they're a nightmare for her men. Everywhere she goes, staring, leering at her. They don't give her a moment's peace.
Really?
Of course, some women are just like that, aren't they? I mean, it's animal magnetism.
Believe me, Miss Smith, the last thing we want is to cause you any more upset or unpleasantness.
Yes, I know.
I do understand how distressing an examination of this nature may be. It may feel as if a dreadful assault has been made on your modesty and dignity.
Yes.
But I really don't think it can be called an assault in the true meaning of the word, do you?
Maybe not.
So I can tell Dr. Ormerod that he'll hear no more about it.
Here we are. A nice cup of tea.
Ah. Well, I think we've cleared the air now.
Dr. Wetherell said she'd accused a neighbour of being a peeping Tom.
Huh? Well, there's the only neighbour I could see.
Said he used binoculars.
Well, poor chap's probably just bird watching. Oh, look. Peregrine falcon. They're quite rare these days.
Morning. Whoa.
And I've given Mr. Ash his blanket bath, and I've made the beds, and I've thrown out the dead flowers and rinsed the vases, and...
Well, there's hope for you yet. Morning.
Morning. I wonder if you've had a chance to speak to Neil Gibbons about this op.
I've spoken to both of them, Doctor. And I think there's a lot more going on there than meets the eye.
Really?
In my opinion, they're both so obsessed with the fact that they can't have children. They've lost sight of everything else. She's so frustrated that he won't talk to her. She's hammering on about it all the time. So he reacts by avoiding every issue in case someone says it's his fault.
Well, if they avoid this issue, it'll end in tears. That's for certain.
Sister Bridget, Nurse Beaumont. A word, please. I'm not imagining it, am I, sister? White. White.
They were in the laundry with everything else. Well, I just thought they were rather chic.
Explain my views about chic on the wards to Nurse Beaumont, would you please, sister?
Yes, matron.
No, I'm sorry, Pearl. I haven't seen Ken since yesterday. He's probably left for the rugby match.
When I get hold of him, he's ruined my laundry. I've got matron on the warpath. I'll kill him when I get hold of him.
Right, my van in 5 minutes or we'll be late.
Look, I've said I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, there'll be other days.
I was looking forward to this one. And I had to go 10 rounds with Matron to keep the time free.
Look, I know we've missed lunch, but I won't hang about after the match. I'll pick you up. We can still catch the show.
Don't bother coming back on my account. I've got better things to do with my time than hang around waiting for you.
I know it's difficult to accept, especially at your age, but we're going to have to face facts. Even with this operation, there's still a chance you might have another stroke. But without it, well, the risks are much greater, more severe. Look, I'm sorry, but this isn't going to go away.
I know.
You and your wife must just find a way of living that's less, well, less stressful.
It's not me that causes the stress. It's her. She just goes on and on. I keep stum. All I want is a quiet life.
Well, maybe your keeping stum is what makes her go on and on. Look, this may seem a bit odd, but there's a growing body of opinion that says that bottling things up is a cause of stress in itself.
I just find saying things so difficult.
Most men do.
Most men can give their wives babies and all. She just makes me feel such a failure. I don't know where to start.
Well, you could start by telling her how you feel. If not for the sake of your marriage, then for the sake of your health. Don't you think that's worth trying? Well, in my opinion, the sooner you see a specialist, the better. I'll leave you two alone.
Pink? You can't have a rugby team in pink.
Well, we haven't got anything else.
I hope your team are better organised than this rabble.
Of course they are. Ah, ready for this afternoon?
Yes, in fact, I was just coming to find you. I did try calling you last night, but...
Go to Demerol, York. Splendid piece.
The thing is, sir,
Well, come on, man, spit it out. I haven't got all day.
given that it's an inter-hospital match, I really feel I ought to play for the Royal. It's a question of loyalty, sir.
Is it indeed? Well, I hope you don't regret your decision, Dr. Cheriton. Doesn't pay to be seen on the losing side, especially when you've been given the choice.
You mean more to me than anything in the world.
Really?
I shouldn't blame you for being surprised, should I? All I've ever gone on about is having kids.
I will. You've a right to expect. I'm sorry if I've let you down.
You haven't. I married you because I loved you. I just forgot that. You being all right's all that matters.
Well, if you want, we could... I mean, we could have tests.
We could, maybe sometime. It's something to think about in the future. Right now, we're complete as we are. That's what's important.
Is something the matter?
No. I'm just looking for Mr. Middleditch. He's not in his office.
Well, he'll be down at the rugby ground, I should think, along with all the others who are not on call.
When was the last time you played, Mr. Middleditch?
Oh, a very long time ago. Rather longer than I can remember. How about you, Ken?
Oi, leave him alone for afterwards.
What's this, the dance of the sugar plum fairies?
Never judge a book by its cover, Mr. Rose. I'm sure the best team will win, whatever it's wearing.
What's that supposed to mean?
It depends on whether you call a collection of porters and delivery boys a team.
At the Royal, Mr. Rose, everybody contributes to the greater good. Is that not so at Ashfordley General?
Sorry to disturb you, Mr. Middleditch. Could I have a word, do you think?
Yes, of course. Go ahead.
Well, in private will be best. You might think that some of what I've got to say is a bit unpleasant.
That's it, come on!
There have been some allegations made against you. Matron was in on it too. She deliberately kept my mother in the kitchen while Middleditch put his disgusting hands all over me and leered in a suggestive manner. She then said you'd bullied her into taking no further action regarding an assault by Dr. Ormerod.
She said that about me?
I wouldn't be here, Mr. Middleditch, but her mother backs up her story, so I'm duty-bound to investigate. But I tell you this, you're not the first. June Smith has made dozens of complaints like this over the last couple of years, and her own mum has backed up every one. She's a right pain in the...
You're right, Mr. Middleditch.
I've never leered at anybody in my life.
What's happened? They only tackled him.
You all right? He's choking on his tension.
Oh, he's faking. Anyone can see that.
I suppose I better go and see what your hooligans have done now.
Quick, help me get him in position.
That was a deliberate foul.
He's choking on his upper denture, sir. I can't get him to shift.
Right, keep him where he is.
What are you doing?
He's cynos. He's losing consciousness.
Splendid. Then he won't feel this. Take the pipe stem off and give it a good clean, will you? We are going to do a cricothyrotomy.
What, here?
Never done one in the field before, but there's a first time for everything. Just get round there, hold his head firmly in extension, will you? Right, we'll make a small lateral incision just below the larynx, like so. We puncture the cricothyroid membrane. Right. Pipe stem, please. Highland malt by intubation. Whatever next. There. Hardly elegant, but it'll do until I can get him back to casualty.
It's okay, sir. I'll go back with him if you like.
Certainly not. You can bodge up your rugby if you like, Dr. Cheriton, but I'm not having you bodge up my cricothyrotomy.
You all right? Yeah. I just had an argument with David earlier. I gave him a hard time for disappearing off to the rugby. I wasn't very nice, and it wasn't really his fault.
Oh, never mind. Give him a big hug when you see him. That'll make it better.
Yeah, I'll make it up to him later. I can't bear not being friends.
Lizzie, I'll be down on the rugby ground. I'm going to catch the second half of the game if I can.
OK.
OK, I won't be long.
Problem?
That was Jill Wetherill. Apparently your friend June Smith has sent the police on Mr. Middleditch.
What?
Accused him of molesting her.
She's mad.
Well, yes, I think she may well be. I've told Jill I'll meet her at their house. There's something very wrong there. I do think I need to see them.
From everything I
I'd been told. The genuine anxiety about her peeping Tom. The genuine distress about what she perceived as rape and assault. And her mother's collusion. I think there's more to it than just menopausal madness. You ever heard the term folie à deux?
The foolishness of two, yes. But not in a medical sense.
It happens when one person with a genuine psychosis somehow manages to infect another person with it. A sort of collective mania.
A bit like the Salem witch trials.
Or the devil's Ifludon. History's full of incidences if you look for them. This might just be one more.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Tell them what happened. Well, what that doctor did to me. Yes, he told the nurse to take her clothes off, and then he forced her.
I didn't think you were in the room, Mrs. Smith.
Oh, You calling my mother a liar? Of course she was. She saw how that beast assaulted me. Tell them. I don't know. You do. You were there. That's enough.
You're all right, Mrs. Smith.
You're in on it too,
Yes.
aren't you? Yes. That's why you don't believe me. I've heard about people like you. You're evil.
No, she's quite right. I was there. I did see
No,
her.
I don't think you did, Mrs. Smith. June, you're obviously very upset by all this. Now, I think we could do something to relieve all this anxiety you're suffering. Would you consider coming to see me at the hospital?
You? You're a psychiatrist. What would I want to see you for? I'm not mad. She's the one. She tried to poison me with sleeping pills. She's the one who's mad.
It's all right, June. Nobody's going to hurt you. Just relax. It's okay. Everything's going to be fine.
How was the game going?
Complete shambles. Got the place up.
Well done.
Right. Let's get this out of his neck and get him stitched up properly. Yeah. Blasted thing will never be the same again.
You offered them psychiatric help and they refused?
Yes. And I'm convinced that each woman is treatable, but only if they're separated.
So, you as their GP, Dr. Wetherell, and you as our consulting psychiatrist, Dr. Klein, you're both in complete agreement that there's no other reasonable course of action.
I'm proposing that after we section both women, June is admitted to the asylum at York for treatment, and her mother be admitted here for observation and psychiatric assessment.
It seems so spiteful locking them up for making a couple of silly complaints. They're two eccentric, lonely women. There's no real harm done, surely.
No, but if we don't do it, Mr. Middleditch, then I think there's a very real danger that they might physically harm either themselves or somebody else.
Oh, very well.
So, if you'd sign these, the sooner we get this over with, the better. If you'd care to bring Mrs. Smith here in your car, Dr. Wetherell, I'll order an ambulance for June.
Come on.
How's it going? Even Stevens and 10 minutes to go.
We do truly believe it would be in both your best interests.
I don't know where all this dust comes from. What must you think of me? Cobwebs all over the place.
Don't need help.
Why don't you come and sit down, Mrs. Smith?
Oh, no, don't you mind me, dear. You just have a chat with June. Only, you have to keep on top of it, don't you, if you let the polishing go. I mean, I like to keep a tidy house.
We all need help sometimes.
You're not sending me away.
No, I've told her dozens of times she should have got married years ago. A nice husband, he'd have been able to look after her properly, wouldn't he?
It wouldn't be forever.
Just long enough to let you get a good rest. Get your strength back.
No, I'm not going anywhere. You can't make me. My mother needs me.
But
I won't let you put me away. I won't go. There's nothing wrong with me. Go away. Go away. Mother, tell them to leave me alone. Tell them I'm all right. Go away.
Oh, my darling. I'm so tired. We can't go on like this.
Go away.
You know we can't. Please, sweetheart. Sweetheart, please.
Leave me alone.
For me.
Ready, set, go, man, go. I got a girl that I love, so I'm ready. Ready, I'm ready. Ready, I'm ready. Ready, I'm ready. Down to the car, the car, to the bar. Cheesy, I'm
You okay?
yeah, of course I am.
David? David, it's Gordon. Dear God. Come on, David. Come on. Come on, David. Come on!
You won't forget about me, will you? Oh, I'll come and visit you as soon as I can.
You will look after her, won't you? She's never managed without me before.
We will take great care of her, don't worry.
And don't give her fried eggs, will you? She can't abide fried eggs. She likes them poached.
I'll remember. It's time to go.
That man over there, what's he looking at?
It's all right. He's just watching a bird. A peregrine falcon, I believe.
If I were you, I'd stay away from horses even after the plaster's come off. Take up a less dangerous sport altogether. Tiddlywinks or something. What? What's wrong?
Lisa, Lisa, sad Lisa, Lisa. Her eyes like windows, trickling rain upon her pain, getting deeper. Though my love wants to relieve her, she walks alone from wall to wall, lost in a hall. She can't hear me, though I know she likes to be near me. Lisa, Lisa, sad Lisa, Lisa.
It must have been an aneurysm. There's nothing anyone could have done.
Meryl, I'm so sorry. There. There. Shh.
We had a terrible row. I told him not to come back. I didn't mean it.
Oh, my dear, he'd have known that.
But it was the last thing I ever said to him.
I was gonna say sorry.
Now, you're not to think like that.
I can't help it.
You were very close. What's one cross word among months and months of kind and loving ones? Hmm? Remember the love. It's the only thing that counts in the end.
No one can see her. Lisa, Lisa, sad Lisa, Lisa.
Gordon, who's Dr. Geoffrey Goodwin?
Jeff Goodwin. Pleased to meet you, matron.
How was a friend of David's?
I don't remember him mentioning any nurses.
How is he?
It's, definitely pneumonia.
Haven't you got a paddle?
No, you push it with the pole.